Hi, I'm Janet Chandler with the Cullman Tribune, and tonight I'm here to read you a bedtime story. I'm going to continue to read from my little treasury of fairy tales. Tonight I'm going to read Little Red Riding Hood. This story is adapted from a European fairy tale. In a small town next to a large forest, there lived a little girl. She was called Little Red Riding Hood because of the cape her grandmother had made for her. One day, Red Riding Hood's mother said, "Grandmother is sick. Take her this basket of fresh goodies. Just be sure that you stay on the path." Little Red Riding Hood soon forgot her mother's warning. She wandered off the path and immediately met a wolf. "Where are you going, little girl?" asked the wolf. "What do you have in the basket?" "I'm going to visit my grandmother, who lives in the house with the red door," answered the girl. "She is sick, and I am taking her a basket of treats." "Tell me, do you have any fresh strawberries in your basket?" asked the wolf. "No," admitted Red Riding Hood, "but my grandmother loves strawberries. I will run and pick some right now." "You can leave your basket with me," suggested the hungry wolf. "I'd be happy to watch it for you while you are gone." "No, thank you," said Red Riding Hood. "I'll need it so I can carry the strawberries." The wolf watched Little Red Riding Hood hurry away. While Red Riding Hood was off collecting berries, the wolf came up with a plan and quickly scurried about the forest. "I see that you do not have flowers for your grandmother," the wolf said when Red Riding Hood returned. "I have just picked this bouquet for my own grandmother. I suggest you pick one too." Little Red Riding Hood thought that was a good idea, but as she began to search for flowers, she was too distracted to notice the wolf run off in the direction of grandmother's little house. Little Red Riding Hood gathered her bouquet of flowers and skipped off to deliver her gifts. At the same time, the wolf sneaked into grandmother's house. He frightened her so greatly that she ran right out the front door. Then the wolf dressed in one of grandmother's nightgowns. He put on a sleeping bonnet and slipped into grandmother's comfortable bed to wait for Little Red Riding Hood. The wolf did not have to wait long. In a moment, he heard the front door open. "Hello, grandmother," called Little Red Riding Hood. "I brought you a basket of goodies from Mother and me." "Thank you, my dear," said the wolf with a disguised voice. "That is most kind. I'm feeling better now. Your basket of goodies certainly smells delicious. Please come closer and give me some news from the village." Little Red Riding Hood stepped closer to the bed, but something seemed different. Her grandmother looked very strange. The girl was surprised to see that her grandmother's eyes looked much larger than she remembered. "Why, grandmother," said Little Red Riding Hood, "what big eyes you have." The wolf blinked, trying to hide them from her. "All the better to see you with, my dear," he said. As the wolf shifted in the bed to hide his eyes, the bonnet slipped from his head. "Why, grandmother," said Little Red Riding Hood, "what big ears you have." "All the better to hear you with, my dear," said the wolf as he fixed the bonnet, letting the covers slip from his face. "Why, grandmother," said Little Red Riding Hood, "what big teeth you have." "All the better to eat you with," cried the wolf. With that, Little Red Riding Hood let out a scream and ran from the room. The wolf gave chase with hunger in his eyes. "Stop!" cried a loud voice. Little Red Riding Hood looked up to see a woodcutter holding his axe in the air. He reached for the wolf and grabbed him by the tail. Then the woodcutter carried the wolf into the forest. Grandmother came running up to Little Red Riding Hood. She had been hiding in the garden shed. "Grandmother, I'm so glad you are safe," cried Little Red Riding Hood. "I was worried that the wolf had eaten you." Grandmother gave Little Red Riding Hood a big hug as the woodcutter came out of the woods. "I do not think that wolf will trouble you again," he said, adjusting his cap. "Thank you," said Grandmother. "Won't you please join us for a snack?" The woodcutter, Little Red Riding Hood, and Grandmother sat and enjoyed the basket of delicious goodies. Now, when Red Riding Hood visits her grandmother, she is careful to stay on the path. The end. Thank you. Good night and sweet dreams.